total. Uh. Yay, baddie! Ooh. Alright, sure. Enough for me to turn my brain off. Still eating the bait and a free bomb? No, not a free bomb. I'm blind. I'm blind! Please don't tell me that pincushion the... Okay, that should be fine. one bomb. Okay. The most dangerous room of them all. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Cool. Everybody, thanks for dropping by too. I appreciate it. Alright, I'm gonna actually have a stroke if I keep having to listen to this. Shadow Zone it is, boys. So this is gonna be the last floor that we have Bosch. We're not intending to take any more fights besides the one danger room that we can't exit until we kill everything. Also critically short on bombs right now, so... A little bit too soon. Gonna sneak through here because there's a gold box over here I can grab some pretty good stuff out of. Did I? Dude! I knew I didn't pick it up and the game's just like, ha 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 ha. You can actually hold X to pick up items, but I find it's very finicky. So I usually just mash for them anyway. It really only works on a single item, then you have to release and press it again, I think, is the way that it works. But I really hate how it works, so I don't do it. Yeah, it sounds about right. Not every time, I guess. Actually decent Cyclone entry. Ah! Alright, so this is going to be bog standard since we're level 6, except we have a pretty decent chance of outspeeding. So it should make the final phases a bit safer. As long as Ryu doesn't go blind and start whiffing moves. Right now we still have our shield on, which is impacting our speed. Not necessarily because, like, we want to have it. More so just because it's there and it's easier to do it this way. That crit's going to be nice. We also hit Vert Slash, so I think we're in a pretty decent spot here. Shouldn't be enough to push him below half. At least not at level 6. Looking at that HP, I might be dead wrong. I'm gonna heal here just in case. Should be able to outspeed at this point, though. Yeah, that reflex is super nice. That's incorrect. I should have just skipped the turn. I was supposed to skip there instead of turn swap. That's fine. This is the turn I want to turn swap. Let him go first so he only attacks once. And then we're going to do another full combo. And then because I outspeed, I begin next turn, so I can just slam level 1 slices until he's dead. I don't have to worry about healing until we get out of battle here. This fight can be slightly faster with higher levels, a power meal, or a power boost, but reflex is the one you'd like to see for the long term of the game. Because that means Ryu will outspeed all bosses as long as things are done correctly. And, great. I do want to split, thank you very much. And that is very important, because the one that can outspeed us is the second to last boss. And golly gee whiz, is it awful when he outspeeds you. As in, you have to do a bunch of shenanigans with Nina to keep him from absolutely mauling your party into the grave. Because otherwise, you just have to hope he doesn't kill Ryu, which is not a good plan. And never really is. Great, dynamite, my favorite item. I need to get rid of this dynamite or else it's going to make this next room coming up here, danger room, the spider room, real annoying. They eat bait extremely fast, which is what makes spiders so extremely dangerous. There's two different patterns in every single room, and the spiders is one of those where you can get a faster pattern. Hello? Guys. Trying to get them to take the bait in the corner here. Which is why I'm, like, moving kind of goofily here. There we go. Because the bait does have an interaction, like AoE. And it doesn't really matter if they can actually get to it or not. So you can use that interaction or bait area to your advantage by sticking it in a corner of a room and then having it kind of push through the wall and have the enemies go after it anyway. That room can be a bit of a pain, because if you don't kite the spiders properly, they can slip through the doorway. And if one gets the other side needs it, you're going to have a fun time trying to fix the problem. Picked up a power boost there. That is a nice backup item for this point in the game. Ideally, we get one before the first boss, because it massively speeds it up. Makes it 3 turns instead of 5. And you can also just spam the tier 1 attack, which is much quicker than that full combo that we do. Luckily, I have enough bombs and meat for the next several areas, so we're just going to go. We are still looking for some money, though. So I will go out of my way early on to pick up boxes that have equipment in them. Equipment costs 100 to identify, but almost always sells for like the bare minimum of 200, so we at least make 100 profit. What we're hoping we find is armors, though. As armors usually sell for 6 or more hundred. Just gonna slip through this room because there's really nothing much interesting going on here. Now we're headed over to Bosch and the boys. Unfortunately, our D dash is cut off now. There's not much else we can do with it at this point. We're going to get D counter here and Dragon Transformation, which shifts combat into our favor drastically, and will speed up pretty much every fight across the board. There's a few we still do with pure bait, because we need the D counter elsewhere, but it's going to make any of the danger rooms where we don't have enough bait or traps to kill everything a lot easier to manage. So we want to try and get a Dragon Breath here that does about 230, because we're actually going to set up a couple of G-Flares with Lyn, which is kind of like bait traps, but an enemy needs to walk into it to take damage. Luckily, Lyn has a shot that pushes enemies away from her, so we can force these enemies into a line, and while we're doing so, we can shove Bosch into those G-Flares for about 100 damage. So it'll make this fight a lot easier, and I'll have to use less D counter, so I have a little bit more leeway throughout the rest of the run. My only goal here is to try and use all my AP as quick as possible. On my way. Pretty good. Want to make sure to target the far guys, because depending on your angle, Ryu may not be looking the right way. Alright, 2.3 is not bad. Bare minimum, we have to do about 230 to Bosch. Yeah, that's fake gold, but whatever. As long as we, like, do less than 300, we're good, because we've saved E-counter. There will be a lot of boxes that I'm not going to go out of my way to break, though, because they drop stat-boosting items. I find, for the most part, like, once I get Reflex, I'm much less incentivized to breaking any of the boxes. I probably break, like, 25% of them now, because they're literally right next to me. So it takes next to no time to break the box and then go get it. There are a few that are close, but you have to kind of go out of your way to get it, so I don't bother breaking those anymore. I only start doing that endgame if I'm down bad, because I got scammed on a good weapon. So the final boss fight might be a little bit more dangerous than it needs to be. We do have another danger room coming up with a lot of orcs in it. So we're going to be using our Dragon Breath there, too. Well, that was just being greedy. I don't know why I opened that up. Oh, boy. And it was on Clear Goo, too? Surely I'm an idiot. So there is... We really need Ryu to be alive for every single fight. There's one fight where we're going to get attacked by a group of enemies. And we're going to need Lin to survive the onslaught. Luckily, the fight, or the damage, gets split between all of us. Oh, boy. I'm going to have a fun day, aren't I? Okay. What I do there? Doot. I don't think we're going to buy any aid kits then. We'll just spam heal kits with the amount that we have. It's too much effort. So this room's going to be a lot harder than it needs to be. The enemies are split up between two floors. So I'm going to have to go out of my way to get these two on the top. Hello? Where I want them to be. Luckily, Lin's gun can shoot enemies off ledges like that. Grab this. Switch to these. Doot. Want to try and hit the big guys, because they usually have the least amount of knockback. Okay. Want to hit these guys for about 310 as long as the bombs hit them, which they did. Okay. Ayo! Bingo! So there are quite a few save tokens I could be grabbing. That's the only way to make a hard save. I'll point out the save points when we get there, but you need a save token to get an actual hard save in the game. We're going to open one of the few other blue boxes that's optional. The kick was optional that I grabbed earlier, and then this one is technically optional as well. You turn it in for an extra backpack page. You start with 2 pages of items, which is 10 total slots, 5 apiece. Lin joins and gives you an extra 5, so you're up to 3, and then that pushes up to 4, so now we have 20 inventory slots, which is much more reasonable than 10. 10, you're like constantly, oh, you have too much, oh, you have too much, oh, you have too much. We could do a little bit of shopping here, but it won't affect the boss fight, so we just are going to delay it till after the boss. The one nice thing about getting an early reflex is I can put it on Lin if I need to. Because that will increase our chances of taking an earlier turn in storage, making my life a lot easier. That is probably the worst item I could get out of that, besides nothing. Alright, sure. That saves, like, 8 zenny. Literally nothing is more or less the same. So this fight right here can be a bit brutal, unless you know what's going on. They're gonna poison everybody here. Luckily, they're, nobody got poisoned, huh? They're gonna try and poison everybody, I guess. Poison will re-proc... No. Oh. I wanted to skip her turn and push her to the bottom, but I accidentally hit the button too soon. Oops. We want to do about 600 here, so I'm going to roll up and see if we can bingo. B-I-N-G-O. Bingo! Alright, so actually bingoing these is a lot more difficult than it sounds. The way that this works is the Dragon Breath kind of ticks up every frame you hold it down. So that's basically a frame-perfect release to hit the exact right damage. General wisdom, as long as you're close enough, you can just de-transform with Ryu and polish it off with sword slashes. He's going to be doing about 10-ish, anywhere between 8 to 10 damage per hit here, if you do that. So you need to be within about 40 to 50, so you have to have like a 550 on the big guy. As long as everything else is dead, you're probably close enough. But going a little bit over is much quicker. Solid ring is worth nothing, but it's better than nothing. And we're also going to sell our shields here because there's no benefit from them. And it also gives us a chance to de-equip Blins without wasting too much extra time. Footloose times 2. Lurid. When did I get 3 dusts? Excuse me. Oh, good grief. Wow. We got a lot of heal kits. Nope. 20 bomb. These minimum. 10. 20. 30. Okay, 30, 30. I'm very happy about this. I'll probably sell some of these heal kits if I need to. I'll probably keep the 1 aid kit. So yeah, we do our shopping there now, which does save me time on the previous split. Because we would used to walk across the room, identify our armors that we picked up, sell them, and then sell our not sell our shields. Because if Ryu has a higher level like he did this time, he can outspeed Lyn, so we can avoid having to cycle turns with her. And then we'd sell the shields later, which was inconvenient. And on top of that, we had to walk across the room to go sell all our stuff to get the money to buy all what we did here. So it's a bit easier to do it this way. Every other floor is kind of empty, at least on the critical path. You really don't have to do much. Or you can just run by everything. The side areas, though, are mainly in those floors where there's a lot of detours. And even rooms that are locked off for New Game Plus when you have a higher ratio for completing the game. Okay, we're doing this pattern, huh? Alright, this might be a little annoying. I'm gonna have to work for my lunch. Nope. Okay, switch to Lyn. Alright, so the enemies are gonna move around here. I'm gonna have to just deal with it. What I want to do is get back over here and get close enough and start this fight before that happens. Great. I'm frustrated, but I'm gonna have to deal with it. I would have liked that extra money, but as long as I get Jolt. I don't know why that missed. I honestly couldn't tell you. Super frustrating that it did, though. In BoF 2, no, we don't. In a meme category, yeah, but in a any percent GBA, maybe Glitchless does on SNES. Because it just needs something extra, but I'm not 100% on that. GBA Glitchless can get by without tenants. So yeah, we have to do that room twice, unfortunately. I was hoping to get both of the Kenophages there, which are worth 10 grand a pop. But it's not worth resetting the room multiple times trying to do that. Unfortunately, like, your sword slashes and Nina's, like, wand swing won't actually trigger the enemy. They'll dodge it slightly and then just stop moving for a second. Lyn's the only one that can shoot him. I have no idea why Lyn's shot missed. Super annoying. Yeah, the Wise Ball in the house is free. Just free. Oh, you don't even have to recruit him. The Wise Ball's just there. It's just in that house. It doesn't matter who's in it. Yeah, that's probably correct. We actually pick it up in the run. That's one of our 3 wise balls that we get. We get the one in Nimifu's tower. We get that one in the village. And then our third is in Evrai, in Clara's house. That's super annoying. Okay. Him changing directions there really threw me off, and I'm absolutely not interested in fighting that guy. I could kind of kill him, but it would spawn like 10 patrollers or bouncers in the next room, which would be impossible to kill with my current setup. I'd need at least a level 2 spell and some level of AoE with Ryu. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, why would you go in the house without the recruit in it, right? So, I mean, it's kind of not surprising you wouldn't realize that. So, I mean, it makes sense. Why explore the houses when there's nobody in it? So I would like to see a reflex, but I doubt it. I don't know why I grabbed that armor boost. I'm coping and molding and seething. We're going to upgrade our weapon here. I'm also going to do a little bit of goofiness here. Item. Jolt. Wrong. We're going to equip Jolt on Nina here so that just in case I have a complete headless moment. There are no buffs there? Oh, that's the, on the hallway? Oh, okay. Gotcha. For some reason, I thought that box had, power meals in it. You mentioned this the other day. Those are boost only. Shit. True. I remember to split! Woo! Alright, I'll just walk around those boxes from now on. It's probably faster to just do it that way. So yeah, we're in Frost Road now. The enemies are going to start getting to a point where if we don't kill them with traps, they're going to absolutely body us. And a pinball probably will get hit less than we will. This is one of the other places where we're going to do a fight that isn't in a danger room. That first fight for money is super important. Plus, getting through that room just kind of like, it's beneficial to run through it like that. There have been other ways theorized to get money, but that's the easiest so far. Still frustrated I didn't get the second can of phage, but at least I got the jolt. The problem is, you need to run really deep into that room, or else Lynn can't run far enough to trigger the bomb. And the canophages go first if you let the enemies take their turn, so they're out of the way immediately. I'm gonna throw a meat here to get these guys in a stack and start chucking bombs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit closer than I should have gotten, but whatever. You always want to hit the big guys, because they usually have less knockback. Alright, I would like... Yep, that's gonna help with my money issues. Boop, boop, boop. I guess we'll grab Frost. Why not? I shouldn't have, but whatever. That helps with my money issues, too. Alright, so the next danger room is extremely difficult. You have to be very, very patient with how you do it, or else your day, you can ruin your own day. Hello? No, 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 no. Yeah, that's great. This room is absolutely evil because these little drill bugs just kind of wander. Seriously. That's gonna be awful. Come on, dude. Not like this. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, fuck it. Even if I have to hit him with my sword, this is fine. It's better than accidentally triggering this fight earlier. Okay, nothing much money-wise here, which is kind of lame, but... Alright, 22 meat. So, this is one of the last times I'll have to actually be baiting enemies around. At least for combat setups. So this bait can last quite a long time. What do we got here? Okay, we got the freebie. This room can be really annoying because sometimes there's a big Jacko box to the left there, and it makes it a little bit harder to squeeze through. Because once you throw bait near a Jacko box, it moves towards it, and boy, is it hit box big. No! I was really hoping for a reflex. C'est la vie. That's why we put it in Ryu, because it's not likely we'd get two. Alright, we got a lot of extra cash. I'm happy about this. Alright, we're gonna get rid of the Sapphire, because it's fine. Keep the cleaner. Normally, you'd high roll for the Sapphire or some other weapon. Cleaner on. Sort. Get that out. Sure. Party. Add EXP here. I need to put Hey on Lynn here in a second. EXP is a lot leaner this run than it was last run, but it's good enough. I'm gonna put this little bit into Nina to level her up for survivability and DPS. Skill. I also want to give you Hey, and then we're gonna sell stuff. The only problem is I can't put Frost on her weapon as well, which is annoying. Power. Oh, that was a really good play. GG, dude. You went out of your way to get a power boost and then immediately sold it. Absolute degenerate behavior. 6, 2 multi-meds, and that'll be that. Jeez, what a guy. So that power boost could have saved me in a fight, or, you know, I could just not die. Don't worry about it. Oh, I need to heal everybody up. Hopefully I don't have to reset. Normally you'd buy some aid kits there, but since I have so many heal kits, I'm not worried about it. Let me see. Let me double check. Correct. I put the cleaner on. I put on Jolter Frost. I put on Hey. We are level 16, and Lynn is level 13. Alright, so this boss fight is a really come-and-go thing. We're really hoping Lynn gets early turns here, but there's no guarantee that that'll happen at level 13. We're just kind of hoping. Because this cluster of enemies is really annoying without Cleaner. Because Cleaner can actually use a giant AoE to suck enemies in. Oh, this is going to be a rough one. Yeah, we'll do that. I could do a little bit of a goofy strat here, place a flare with Nina, and then walk over, but what I'm trying to do is see what happens here. 2 hits, huh? Cool. Yeah, we're totally gonna have to heal Lynn here. I don't... Okay. Depends on... Is it Gunners? Because she can survive Gunners. Depends on... If the Gunner targets her, I have to heal here. If not, then we're fine. Okay. Yeah, she can survive the Gunner no matter what. So we have extra DPS. I will have to heal Ryu, though. Seems. Put the cleaner. Move. Okay. Hey, come here. So that will turn come here into a giant cone attack that'll suck all the enemies in, which is super nice. Want to shoot this guy to make sure that this works out properly. We're trying to cluster them so that they're going to all get hit by a single Dragon Breath here, which is super nice. And then that's all her AP. Now we Durgan Ryu and blast. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I had to take a quick look at the formation to see if I felt like the Dragon Breath would hit everything. And this is pretty much free real estate. Okay, feel like I'm missing one of those guys. I gotta... yeah, there we go. That was way under. Okay. We're gonna have to de-transform with Ryu, but that's fine. Yeah, something like that. Lost a little bit of time here having to de-transform and doing the beam readjustment, but this is a place where you really can't afford. If I missed one of them, it's catastrophic failure. 1000%. You do not want to let that happen. So we did get an aid kit earlier, so I'm just going to use it here. And that should put Ryu high enough that even if Xeno decides to target him down, he won't die. Luckily, his HP is the lowest, so the game auto-targets him. We use the item with Ryu instead of Nina because the way that it works is if you do any action, besides just passing your turn, you have to quit. And then it'll make this little green ring that you see shooting out, pull back in. That animation can take a while. Nice crit, by the way. Oh, wait, there wasn't one. It's gonna be like a couple of frames here. So we got to do enough damage to push him to 0. So I had to use another breath there to actually do enough damage and not waste a huge amount of counter, but I still had to waste a non-zero amount of counter, which is real rough. You can just use Vortex, but that's if you're not buying the backup sword like we do. I'm hoping she'll come over here and kill Lin for me. Of course not. Rather punch Ryu. This is why we healed him. This is why we healed him, yeah. Because she's going to hit a third time? Really? Twice. Two hits, huh? Interesting. Yep. So, charge is a massive power buff here. It cannot be understated how important this is. Without charge, we would not be able to kill anything. Oh, look, we killed the boss. At least we got to save some time on something. So we do get a new sword from this. However, we have to identify it before we can equip it. But we know this is Violet Blade. It has a very low weight or / speed penalty. So it's only gonna drop us very little speed to the point where it's super impactful in a lot of boss fights. Plus, it's guaranteed to have a certain amount of attack. The Violet Blade does get stronger the more New Game Plus games you do, or run-throughs you do. So it is a thing to factor in. Not super happy I had to charge that much, but it's very easy for that one on the bridge to get caught on you. So, I'm feeling lucky, punk. Hey! Reflex after it didn't matter! Thanks, game! If I get like 3 more of those, I can accidentally outspeed Nina in several fights. Luckily, this guy can't catch us, so we can just run through blindly. Well, I mean, as long as I hold X to open that door there. Yeah, it's Dragon Go Burr, honestly. So my counter is a little bit higher than I'd like it to be, but it also could be a lot worse, so I'm not too worried about it. Mainly, the extra counter goes towards D-dashes. That'll save you a second a pop, but it's not something we're super worried about. The big thing is there's 2 bosses where we may have to use a Vortex to kill. And if we have to do that, then we're in shambles. Right now, the routing kind of assumes we have to use that. But as long as it... Good job, idiot. The gold box, though! Well, those enemies right there are also pretty funny, too. When they try to charge at you as soon as you walk in front of them, they'll bonk into the wall. And they'll flip upside down, and you can go back and hit them for 150 EXP for free. Obviously, like, we don't have time to do that. Because the thug coming at us will get in the way and pull us into a fight. But there are a few places where you can get some cheeky EXP off them. So we got the next Danger Room 5 here. This is one of the more annoying ones. Two, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12. 1 to grow on. I think one of the bats was out of the range of 2 of those prox bombs, so I threw an extra one in there just to make sure that this didn't take forever. I was correct. I don't know if I need extra money, but we'll grab this stuff anyway. I could level up before Tantra 1 here, but that would only be if I was doing the my D counter is broken strat, and I don't feel like my counter is broken. HP plus, that's neat. I'm just grabbing these items because it takes less time to grab them than go out of your way and try and figure out what you got. I am going to open up a gold chest off to the side here. This can drop quite a few different things. The wand is worth some cash. I was hoping to see just a sword icon and a name there, which means it's a Celtis, which is our preferred weapon. The next store can sell Celtis +1, but it's a 1 in 4 whether we see that shop, so I will open a few boxes that have a chance to drop Celtis as well. Yeah, for whatever reason, we gotta go just check this guy out, and then the boss is actually triggered to start here. So yeah, if my D counter were broke, I'd just do a couple of twisters here and level up before Tantra 1. But we're gonna go level up before Tantra 2 like we're supposed to, because it costs like 40 seconds. And that's not counting for menuing ahead of time. Though it can go as low as like 25 if you get crits on Ryu, so you don't have to do multiple attacks. Charge once, roll up, and punch him in the chin. Yeah, 29. We're 29.4. I'm not super happy about being there, but when Asimov doesn't get one shot, you're expected to see that. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's where I'll split for that. Skipping that cutscene is stealth really difficult, because you can, like, skip it nearly immediately. Most of the other ones, you have to, like, mash the start button to actually get the cutscene skip prompt to show up. So Deegan's the next danger room. This guy is a pushover, luckily, with the strats that we have. We just shove past him with the D-dash, and then spam, 10 prox bombs on him. Which, luckily, the way that we do it, we can get 2 hits out of each one rather than just 1. You can get it on some other places, but it's guaranteed if we get him stuck in the doorway here. So I'm going to do a pretty specific setup with the camera and everything to make sure that it's working properly. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 to grow on. I have an extra prox bomb just in case I mess up a later danger room. But for the most part, you really only need 24. Or like 22. Tantra's down. Probably should just get rid of the Tantra split. Or no, that's not Tantra. I'm wrong. That's Deegan. I'm Dumgun. That explains why it was gold. Ha 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 ha. I will level up here before the boss. I just need to do a little bit of box bashing here. Ooh, magic boost, that's alright. P plus, sort, AP, reflex, fire blast, party, on to Ryu. I need to learn fire blast after this, or rather put it on the weapon. 4 skill. Probably should be putting AP pluses on Nina, but it's whatever. Oh, good. Ryu outsped because of the reflexes and the levels. It's not common that that happens, but man, when it does, it just feels good. I'm going to charge once and then twister him across the room back to the party. Excuse me. My positioning felt off, so I was trying to get myself in the right slot. Want to make sure I'm not super close, or else he'll counter if I don't kill here. And without the power boost, I probably won't kill. Because I did a really good job selling that earlier, like a dum-dum. I could use the magic boost here, but I know this is going to kill, so I don't want to waste the time with the animation. Selling the power boost was more of a moral loss than I am, you know, an actual loss. So honestly, you know, I think the animation would have taken the same time as a Fire Blast, so I really didn't lose too much time. I am gonna slip by the inventory place and get rid of the garbage. I'm not gonna bother identifying Violet Blade yet, because I just don't need it. I won't need it until later. And if we get a good enough weapon here, I can delay IDing the Violet Blade until there's a very convenient vendor, like, right on the beaten path. Okay, you're not gonna sell any bombs, that's fine. I should have enough money if I remember correctly. I left FR with like 10 grand. Alright, Celtis it is. Yep. Alright, Celtis is really what we want, so I'm pretty happy. I could be a little bit more excited if I had a power boost or power meal or two, but reflexes are nice. I'm going to be a lot less interested in opening boxes now that don't just straight up have EXP. Alright, we got the easy pattern. Well, I mean, minus that little guy on the roof. He can drop on you and ruin your day. So this pattern is super easy. There's like 0 enemies in your way. So you can be really greedy with the routing. Or you really don't have to do much other than just kind of, you know, moving the right direction and being mildly aware of your situation. I think with Celtis +1, I'm not too worried about anything. You can keep that money, you filthy animal. But yeah, we passed a lot of power-up boxes, but with Celtis, I'm feeling fine about not getting them. The only ones I'm really interested in at this point are AP charges, just in case we super low roll. Because some of the endgame bosses have what's called an absolute defense field. Or, you know, if you've ever seen Neo Genesis Evangelion, they're kind of like AT fields. You have to do a certain amount of damage before you can actually hurt their HP bar. That's what I was talking about earlier. And the problem is that, like, you can't chip away at the shield and then break it. You have to do it all in one combo. So we have to break through the shield in a single attack, or AP bars worth of attacks. Which is why I want AP charge, because then I can just refill my AP, get a full bar going, and just slam into the boss at full force. Usually once we, if Dragon doesn't kill, you would need to switch over to Nina, because her damage is a lot better. Nina's going to fall out of the party here and get sick from absorbing the gas in the gas room. But like I said, we got what we need, so we're just going to get going. There is a shop over there that can sell bombs, but it's out of the way, so I'll simply play correctly. As long as I have 4 bombs going into the end area, it's fine. It'll just take a while. Because I'll have to shred the rest of the HP with just regular slashes. Need rest now. So we are going to stay on the plasma here, but that does mean Nina's going to outspeed us, which is like a mild inconvenience. If I had the Violet Blade, I wouldn't, or she wouldn't outspeed me here. Plasma +1, Violet Blade, both will kill here, so we're not too worried about anything. We're going to double charge. We're at the point where we need to multiply it ×2. Charge goes up to 10 times, though the effectiveness, I think for attacks, maxes at 3. And breaths can go up to 10 times charges. What we're going to do here is double charge and then run around the room and vortex everything. I could have gone into the hallway and de-breathed these two, but charging increases how fast your breath scales, so it's much harder to hit the right value. Because the de-breath here will increase its damage much quicker than any of the other previous ones. So you've got to adjust pretty hard for that. But yeah, 2 reflexes into Ryu's, like, funny. But yeah, you want to make sure you're on Violet Blade or Plasma going into the boss, because the Celtis not only has an accuracy penalty built into it, but it also messes with your speed because it's so heavy. That's why we didn't equip it for the Trinity boss. Even if we did, we wouldn't be able to use less than 1 charge. It's quite silly, actually. There's either going to be a save token or a power-up item right there, but for me, that's too far out of the way. If the ninjas, or whatever you want to call them, are facing towards you, they'll always run at you. If they're facing towards each other, they'll always run away from you. So you've got to use that information to adjust accordingly. A little bit of party EXP never hurt nobody. Some of these rooms can be done a little bit easier, but for the most part, or they can be done with less counter, rather. Luckily, dashing into the door and holding X usually activates the door before you would get scammed. So this room is a bit annoying because there's clear goos in here, and then there's a Pandora's box that kind of does whatever it wants. So if you don't, like, dash across the whole room, you can easily get bonked by the chest and just straight up lose, like, 30 seconds to a minute, which is super frustrating. Yeah, sure, whatever. Plenty of party EXP that should help me get on a higher level curve here. I didn't get any AP charges, but that's fine. I have the weapon that I want. I got a couple of reflexes, so the final boss can't outspeed me as long as I'm properly equipped. And I've got the sword that I want. It still would be a damage range, but it could be a lot worse. I take this one a bit slower, because sometimes they'll run into the door, and it'll make it almost impossible to get through the hallway, so you want to play that a little bit safer. I think Nina is high enough, yeah. She hasn't died anywhere, so we just slam this into Ryu. Okay, 26. I could heal up, but like I said before, if we don't kill the bosses on the first turn, something very wrong has happened. Go ahead into Bosch 2 here. I do need to swap out my weapons to the Celtis, but Celtis should make this a lot easier. If Ryu, like, gives me any reasonably high damage rolls. Once again, outspeeding Nina because of that reflex, which is super nice. We're only going to charge once here, but we're going to twist her twice. So you'll notice that the damage is not nearly as high as a double charge. But it's the only way to really, like, make this cost effective. Okay, great, Ryu. Base damage as is, I guess. Yeah, we can safely do this then. If I take his back here, the accuracy penalty is offset. So I should be able to kill. Alright, yeah. You gotta play that safe when his HP is that close. Because you only have 2 slashes. And if you don't kill, he's going to kill Ryu and then stay on that end of the room. And Nina won't be able to follow up and kill. So you're going to be in a really bad spot. Not only that, but your EXP is going to get messed up from Ryu dying. So you really don't want to play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Gonna head into Lifeline here and finally pick up that Violet Blade and get rid of Plasma +1. See if I got anything else interesting. Doubt it, though. I have to have got, like, a Pyromania, like, +6 or something to get enough stats out of it for it to actually do anything. Identify. Violet Blade. Magic Wand is gonna get sold. Alright, we're just gonna get this stuff out of the inventory. Okay, Weapon Link. I'm gonna get rid of Plasma, sell it on Principle. Skills. I want to put Kick back on Violet Blade, because I no longer have it equipped to that, because that was equipped to the Plasma. We could check for another weapon, but Celtis is pretty much what you're looking for, so we're good to go. This next area, I will need a couple of bait, but not too much. Honestly, like, I have more than enough. I have enough to screw up multiple times, which is usually what I need, honestly. Okay. Okay, can you guys... Thank you. That walkway is always spooky. Luckily, that guy just never wants to have anything to do with you, so he just kind of gets out of the way. This is the point where the blue boxes start having a lot of really cool skills that can make fights a lot easier. Oh, cool, I got the free hallway, so I don't have any excuse for playing poorly. Dope. Okay. Come here, big guy. Actually, I want to bring him further away here. Hopefully that removes the other ones from the fight. We're going to also... No, it's fine. I want to stay on Celtis, because I'm just going to use that on Doofus anyway. So we got 666 EXP out of that, and we went through the last danger room. It's nice. There's a different variant where the boxes are in the room preceding this one, which some runners find easier. I find this version easier, because you can just jam the meat in the boxes, and unless the Keatons clip into it, you're fine. The downside is, if they do clip in there and eat the meat, you have a really awful time getting around that room, if not borderline impossible time doing so. This room sucks. It just sucks. There's only two ways. It's either brute force it with Dragon, or hit one of the enemies and retreat so you have invincibility and visibility from running from combat, and then just walk through the room that way. Ideally, I think like the retreating version is better, unironically. But I feel like it probably takes longer. The thing is, it's like your D-dash doesn't save any time because you're jamming enemies into Ryu the whole time. So you just end up burning counter for a slight convenience. It's not even that hard to like hit it with a sword once you walk into the room. Oh, cool, the free hallway, nice. This is a really good pattern on this floor because it makes moving through here a lot quicker. Because I can just sneak by this little guy. We'll open this box because it actually has a possible stat booster. AP plus. Nope. Oh, no! Oh, please don't. Okay, that's disappointing, but fine. Alright, so... what I'm gonna do is just get a little bit of extra EXP and run. Luckily, that guy didn't confuse me, because he can. Alright, that stays. That's probably going to be the last stat box I check. That one's usually pretty merciful. Yeah, I took one step too far forward there, so I tapped the bug. That is... oh man, that's such an embarrassing way to lose time, but whatever, I guess. I'm going to dump all the EXP in here, so I hopefully level up off the boss fight. So that should be the last time that I can get into an enemy encounter, but, you know. We will need to take the Celtis off because of the speed penalty being a bigger issue. We don't need to equip anything. We're on Celtis already. So Daemon is the first boss with absolute defense field, so we really need crits or, like, the highest damage rolls to do this without using 3 attacks. Ideally, we only use 2 twisters here, but it is not uncommon to have to use a vortex. These damage numbers are low enough that I'll probably have to use a vortex unless I get a Giga crit. There we go! Thank you, Wii U! Good enough. Yeah, we lost like 20 seconds to bonking on those bugs like a goober. I guess I could have saved some of it back if I just decided to run through the bugs. The thing is, if you hit them, they just instantly die like the earlier high cheese, which is what makes that so embarrassing. Because I just waited too long because I wanted to hit multiple of them with 1 slash rather than like 2 or 3. I'm used to having the pattern where they're just holding still. Sometimes there's a blue box there that can have EXP, so I was checking to see. That's what I expected. This hallway is, like, really difficult right there, so either throw some meat or burn a little bit of D-dash. Actually, let me see. What's my... That's... Okay, my counter's trash, so I might have, like, 1 or 2 dashes in me. I can save it for the goo room. Is there anywhere else I want to dash? Yeah, I don't have enough extra counter to dash, I don't think. Set 3 bombs here. These Pandora boxes drop a 7 cents, which is an incredibly strong power-up item. That is not what I wanted to do. I want to put Violet Blade back on to get rid of my weight penalties. Drop. Yep. Just want to get rid of those heal kits so that I can get the 7 cents in my top slot, just to make organization a little bit easier on me. Who's my good buddies? So luckily Cupid's free as long as I hit the right enemy. 7. I think I might have more counter than I actually think I've got. Sometimes they run away, which is nice. There are some of these boxes that can drop full AP, but at this point I'm checked out. The stat buffing boxes have been cruel to me, so I'm good to go. There is a chance that I can outspeed Lyn, I think, with VB and 2 reflexes. I don't think it's very common. One of the runs I had 4 vortexes, so I outsped Nina in like 6 bosses. It was so weird. Having Ryu just go first, I was like, huh? What? We're gonna stay on Violet Blade here, because even if we switch to our stronger sword, we still will kill, period. And the speed is more important than the damage. Charge 2, Twister 2, pretty much all we can do. We don't really have any other options. There are some times where you get like a big enough crit that you're like, oh, maybe I could use a Vortex. Don't do it. The absolute defense field actually strengthens their HP bar. It may look like you're within Vortex range, but that is not the case. That never is. They better have like a sliver of HP. Okay. Don't think we're going to be dashing anymore because I want to make sure I have enough for Vortex. So without power meals, I'm most likely going to need it. Alright, last stop. Population, nobody. Alright. So we've got a few bosses left, and they're all incredibly difficult in one way or the other. If we didn't do the setup that we did, these bosses could be extremely difficult to deal with. I'll be able to dash after Jesuits. So I need to place G-Flares on the floor like I did earlier with Bosch. But this time I need to place them in such a way that Jesuits will run into them consistently. So depending on his movement, I'll have to fight the fight a different way. This is the more annoying of the two, because I need to switch to Ryu here and move him back so that I can actually place the flares where he is. Okay, we want to put the flare around here. Then the other thing is layering these well enough that, that's very bad layering, might be acceptable. Two of these is definitely on top of each other. I'm fine with that. Then I want to put Lyn somewhere around here. The problem is Lyn is going to be attacked with this setup. Okay, good. All 3 of them hit. Ideally, he, like, backflips her almost immediately. That's percentage-based. As long as he lands, like, backflip, this will kill. There we go. Good. This is a little bit slower, but it does split the EXP more beneficially for me. So it's going to make my life a little bit easier here. But it does waste time seeing his attacks, honestly. So a good run would avoid doing that. That's why I was talking about the poison earlier, because I was hoping Lyn got poisoned, but that didn't work out that way. The big thing is we want to attack Jesuits from behind, otherwise it's a 50-50 whether we land an attack or not. So we got to make sure we hit him in a specific way so that it does land a back attack. 31, huh? I do need to level up. Okay. Also need to put Violet Blade back on here, which we're on. Party. Oops. All right. Playing this a little bit safe. Pretty decent run. We've only got 3 bosses left, and they all should go fairly quickly as long as my menuing isn't an issue. So all the regents we just got done fighting give us the keys to get through here. We got 1 back in Trinity from the leader there, and 2 from the bosses we fought. There's actually 4 bosses in that area that you can choose to fight, whether you go left, right, right, left, right, right, or left, left. We chose left, left because it works out easiest for the speed run. But those areas also have different monsters and different chests where you can obtain different items, which will be part of that skills showcase coming up. At this point, Nina's 100% going to outspeed us because her natural speed growth is ridiculous. Also, the boss outspeeds us here, which means we don't have to worry about being outsped, which is kind of nice because he always opens with this attack. So this boss is free as long as I do my menuing correctly. Got to put our stronger sword on here so we can actually kill. Yep, Celtis. Dragon up. I gotta make sure to do all this before I transform, because otherwise I can't access it anymore. Luckily there's a backup strat. If I forget the 7th sense here, I can just use it on the next boss. Double charge, double twister, GG. Very tempting, but not gonna happen. There's no reason to save percent at this point anyway. We are trying to get to 100% after this anyhow, or we're going to have to in a cutscene, so shaving percent here is moot. If anything, it loses time. Party EXP. Okay, I'm 33. Wrong. Violet Blade again. I need that to adjust my speed. Celtis has a pretty nasty speed penalty, so I'd have to have a ridiculous... I'd probably have to have like 6 or 7 reflexes to outspeed. Yeah, at this point, we're trying to push as close to 100% as possible to speed up these fights and skip the cutscene. Okay, this is the last time we have to re-equip. That is incorrect. Yeah. That would have been really annoying if I did that. Luckily, we can charge twice by holding the charge button down after we trigger it. Now we're going to try and Twister Bosch from behind. This guy is super fast. Okay, neat. Even with the Celtis, I expected to have to Vortex him. For better or worse, that kind of loses time. Not really, but it doesn't. The next fight we have to do in dragon form. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nina, 7 cents. So 7th sense kind of functions as a half charge. I think I have to hit this guy from behind with VB. Can't remember. Or, Celtis. We're gonna triple charge here because we have the extra bar. Only Celtis? Yeah, okay. Normally I don't want to have to chase him around the room, but the Celtis' accuracy penalty makes this too risky to hit him from the front. Luckily, with all the extra charging, because I had more D-counter, made that a little bit easier. Oh, wow. I'm really going to just barely miss the sub 70. Lamau. Come on. Come on, load faster. Rough. I'm missing it because of loads. Actually, I'm missing it because I hit that one high cheat. Yeah, boy! I fucking hate this game. I fucking hate this game. Dude, the loads here take like 40 seconds. It's so hard to sit there and watch like a good PB just get frittered away. That's literally just me running into the one enemy. Honestly, the sword slice, 2 less sword slashes or 3 less slashes would have also gotten it. The slash animation is stealth really long. Another consistent 70. I'm happy with it. Not my best work, but not my worst work either. We are gonna switch over to casual though. I mean, we're consistently getting 70s. I mean, as long as Swimmy doesn't get like god luck with his fucking crits like he did in our Dude, in our practice run, we didn't have the timer up, but Swimmy like crit fucking every boss. He was like done with center when I was entering it. It was so painful. I think I was like 3 bosses behind. It was the worst. I guess we should compare against PB. So, yeah, the bumping into the high chi cost us the run. God, that was a lot of time loss. And then no D-dashes in center really fucked us too. Yeah, we had a dog shit start, but it's acceptable. We actually remembered to split on Frost Road, which is fucking impossible. Impossible! I think I split late for Trinity too? No, I split at the right time for Trinity. I don't know what the fuck. Whatever, man. We'll, save the splits. I'm gonna stop the recording here.